Kyle. Happy holidays to all of you. Glad to see you. I'm Caroline Wolf, if you haven't ever seen me. And I will be talking about the summary of funding. Patty's going to talk about competitive bidding, and Kyle will be talking about the Form 471 window, which we should be hearing about very, very soon. So just a little bit of summary. We have 185 Texas libraries participating in LCT right now. 7 libraries are new to LCT. Welcome to Calhoun County, Elgin, Kennedale, and Roanoke Public Libraries. They are in the latest cohort of libraries, just starting this year. 114 applications were filed by LCT libraries in 2022. So we'll see how many we'll be filing this year, depending on how many people join. And one of the reasons why some libraries join LCT is because it helps you not just to apply for E-rate, but it's showing is that the cost of bandwidth for LCT libraries is going down while the bandwidth is going up. So just make sure that if you are one of the 21 libraries that still need to file a Form 470 for 2023, that you move forward as soon as you can so that you can get better bandwidth at a lower cost. That's what the competitive bidding process is all about. Patty?
Yes. Hi, everyone. Thank you, Caroline. And thank you to everyone who's joining us today. As Kyle mentioned, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat, and someone from our team would be happy to answer it for you. So what I'll be talking to you about today is closing out the competitive bidding. And a lot of our libraries have already filed their 470s, and so we'll be closing out your competitive bidding soon. And so if you want to move to the next screen here on our presentation, we'll talk a little bit. Kyle, can we move to the next screen on the presentation? And we'll show up our E-rate timeline here. This is an image that gives a good idea of the process that we're in. It's a linear process shown here on this flow chart. And in the red boxed area, you'll see that we're at the beginning of the process, and service specs or RFP closes after that 28 days, you'll get into the bid evaluation process. And that's something that we prepare a bid packet for you where we get a template with your bid evaluation and any bids that you've received, and we'll send that to you and walk you along the path on doing that process. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out and ask us. So then once you get into your proposal evaluation process, and we send you the email, it will contain 2 attachments. As it's stated here, one of them will be the bid evaluation matrix, which is in the form of a spreadsheet. And we'll also attach a sample award letter. And on the award letter, that's once you've selected your service provider and you notify them of the bid award. And once you do complete your bid evaluation template, if you could send that to us, we would be glad to take a look at it, make sure that everything, looks good, that there's no red flags, because during this competitive bidding season, this is something that if USAC reviews, there's many little nuances along the way that we'll want to make sure that everything is done and documented really well. So on to the next slide. Here are some reminders to keep in mind when you are completing your bid evaluation template, to remember that the pricing needs to be the most heavily weighted. And so we'll assist you with that to make sure that the pricing is the most heavily weighted. You may also have other bid evaluation factors that you're evaluating on your bids, but they'll need to be scored at a lower percentage than the pricing. So on these proposal evaluations, if you can, it's also a good idea to document during the process the why and how of why your decisions were made. And that just means making little notations on your evaluation template, just as good reminders on the bid award process. Of what this process looks like, or if you want to talk about additional bid evaluation factors, we are here and happy to help you with that. And again, just to say again, we're glad to review your bid evaluation just to make sure that everything looks good and that there's no questions prior to moving forward with your award letter. Some more reminders is that it's important to evaluate all of your proposals prior to awarding your contract. So we've also seen recently where providers have submitted their pricing during the 28-day period and then updated their pricing after the proposals have closed. So if you find yourself in that situation, let us know, and we can help you with that when it comes time to doing your proposal evaluations. And next, I'll hand it over to Kyle, who will talk to you about your 471 application window.
Thanks, Patty, and thank you for that thorough review of that information. So with the, just to follow up on that, following the bid evaluation process, we're going to be moving shortly to the funding year 2023 471 application window. And a big part that is going to fall directly from that bid evaluation is the award letters and contracts. So once proposal evaluations are complete and decisions have been made, the library can prepare the award letter and send that to the winning service provider. Most service providers will require that the library sign a contract, and you can request that as quickly as possible because they may take time to obtain. But at the very least, the date of the signature on the award letter or contract can be considered as the contract award date. And that needs to be prior to certifying the Form 471. So if you have that in place before certifying the Form 471, you can get the contract, the formal contract at a later date. But if you can please send any copy of the signed agreement and the signed award letter to lct@eratecentral.com. We would like to retain those for our records as well. And we discussed in October how to upload a contract. If you couldn't join us on that webinar, the recording is available on our YouTube channel. And that's something that we'll include on the upcoming newsletter as well, the link to our YouTube channel. But we retain all the historical recordings that we've done of this and other webinars. So just as a reminder, now is the time to update the E-Rate Productivity Center portal profile for your library. There's a window that is open right now called the administrative window, and though that is going to close shortly before the 2023 filing window opens, and that is likely going to be in January. So if you need to make any changes, if you have new branches, you have any change of address, you have a change to library square footage, or other information related to the library has changed, please go into your EPC profile and make those updates, preferably before the end of the year, before December 31st, 2022. That said, your next action items as we go into the calendar year 2023 is filing the funding year 2023 Form 471. And if you did not file a new Form 470, review the multi-year contract that you should have in place already. Just always good to check on what the pricing on that was and what the terms of that contract were for bandwidth and for the contract end date. This is going to be relevant information when you fill out the Form 471. If you find out the contract is not sufficient for next year, for example, the contract end date is prior to June 30th of 2024, or if you need to increase bandwidth at the library, you may need to file a new Form 470. And if so, please reach out to us and we can help you progress with that and get that filed before it's too late. So if you're unsure, please consult with an LCT team member. Additionally, if you did file a Form 470 in this year, then documents that you're going to need to file the Form 471 are a copy of your signed contract or agreement with the service provider, which should include pricing for the internet access that you're seeking there. If it is the same service, both in terms of the level of bandwidth and the service provider that you have right now, you will still want to review a recent bill to determine the actual monthly costs, and that includes taxes and fees, because some taxes and fees are eligible as well. So if you have any questions about what may be or may not be eligible on that internet bill, reach out to an LCT team member and we can help you parse that out. And so if you have that multi-year contract, once again, get a copy of a recent bill that details the charges that you see month to month on that internet access, and a copy of your Form 471 from last year. It's very likely that a lot of the information from last year is going to be applicable on this year's funding year 2023 Form 471. So having all that information in one place is going to set you up for an easier time in filing the Form 471 for funding year 2023. And I'll hand it off to Caroline, who will close us off.
Thanks, Kyle. So to follow up, it's almost Christmas. We've See, it's December 15th right now. I know that most libraries are going to be closed for a few days, at least around the Christmas and New Year holiday. So I definitely suggest that if you need to file a Form 470, that you get it done as soon as you can. The FCC approved the final eligible services list yesterday, which means that we're going to be seeing the window date soon, if not today, or tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised if it was in the next news brief that USAC sent out. So you who filed applications probably received the USAC news brief. I definitely recommend that you read it when it comes in. We'll be sending out the newsletter on Monday, so if there's any news, it'll be in there. If you didn't need to file a Form 470 this year, everybody has to file a Form 471 every year in order to get the discount. So be prepared for in the beginning of January for us to be starting to roll out our Form 471 instructions and information on how to file that Form 471. You can look at the recording of this webinar as well as the Form 471 recording that we will be coming out with soon. So thank you all for attending, and we hope that you have a wonderful and very safe holiday. If you have no more questions, we'll let you all go. Any more last minute questions? Okay, so you can always reach us at lct@eratecentral.com, or you can reach us by phone at 516-801-7820. Someone should answer that phone, but if you happen to be directed to the voicemail, just leave a voicemail and we'll call you back. See y'all soon. Bye, y'all.